Oh my god, what?
Ha! Nothing. Welcome to the Witch Show, where smart meets stupid and somehow makes sense. I'm Georgie, and I'm thinking out loud, so you don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Witch Show. From what I think seriously to you.
WITS, The Witch Show.
Cool story, bro.
Look. All I'm saying is that there's zero evidence that Bigfoot
Zero
exists.
evidence? Bro, explain the blurry ass photos of a tall, hairy man sprinting through the woods like he's looking for dinner.
It's simple, dude. That's just a dude named Randy who drinks moonshine
Randy?
and refuses to wear pants.
Are you serious?
We've all got a Randy in our family.
Come on, really? That's what the government wants you to think. But, okay, hear me out. What if Bigfoot is the government?
The
You
government.
ever think about that?
How the hell would Bigfoot be the government?
Think about it, dude. He's tall, hairy. He disappears when you need him. Sounds like a senator to me.
Okay. For the look, people go missing in the Appalachians because it's like 600 miles straight up forest. You sneeze
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
and it echoes in 6 counties.
Okay. Then explain why hikers' clothes are always found folded. That's either a cryptid or a single
Oh,
dad
come
trying to
on.
keep it together.
Maybe they fell off a cliff and the wind folded the shirts. I don't know. Gravity does weird things.
Gravity, really? Come on. Gravity doesn't Mario Kart a sock pile. Bigfoot does. With love. And maybe a little foot
Oh my
swing.
god, you're crazy, dude. You need help. Real help. Like Dr. Phil meets Scooby-Doo kind of
Yeah,
help.
and you need to stop denying the truth. Bigfoot is real. He's out there. Come on, he's probably watching us from the trees. Like a
I'm
furry
sure of it. I'm
forest,
so-
man.
Okay, fine. A final question then. Why hasn't anyone ever caught him?
Oh, dude, that's so simple. Because he's a 7-foot forest ninja.
Forest
And he
ninja?
runs like
Really?
he's got a bad case of the and hides better than your dad's
Oh my
feelings.
God.
Boom! Case closed.
Did you really just...
Yeah, you know what? I did, actually. You know why? Because he's always watching. And sometimes crop dusting.
Alright, weirdos and wisdom seekers, welcome back to the Witch Show. Today, we're going deep into the foggy woods of the Appalachian Mountains. Bigfoot might be real. People are definitely going missing. And I've got some theories that'll either keep you up at night or make you want to go exploring. Either way, grab a flashlight. That's right, we're talking about Bigfoot, America's favorite blurry cryptid, and the chilling mystery of the people who go missing without a trace in those very same woods. What's going on in the Appalachians? Is it feral people, secret bunkers, time rifts, or is it Bigfoot just cleaning house? Let's just start with the big guy himself, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the hair-covered hide and seek champion of North America. He's been spotted everywhere from Oregon to Ohio, but the Appalachian Mountains, well, that's his playground. We're talking the thick forest, zero cell service, fog so dense you start questioning if it's actually Chad smashing watermelon ice vapes or a Monster Energy drink. Either way you want to look at it, some folks say Bigfoot's an undiscovered ape species. Others say he's an alien pet that wandered off the UFO. And then there's the spicy crowd who believe he's an interdimensional, popping in and out of portals like some woodland wizard with a size 22 foot. But here's a fun fact for you. There are more Bigfoot sightings in Pennsylvania than in any western state. And that's right, your Uncle Gary in Pittsburgh might be living closer to Sasquatch than he thinks. Oh, but it gets even better. There's even Bigfoot erotica out there. Yeah, I'm not diving into that pool today, though. But it's real. Humanity is weird. Anyway, people see him. They hear guttered growls, they find footprints, but no one has ever really caught him. Unless the government already has, and they're not telling us. Anyway, all kidding aside, here's where things get really creepy. Have you ever heard of the missing 411? This is a term coined by former police officer David Polides. See, he's documented thousands of these cases where people who have vanished, mostly from national parks, under the weirdest circumstances. Oh, and where do a suspicious number of these disappearances happen? You guessed it, the Appalachians. Here's what makes these cases extra bizarre. Allegedly, the weather suddenly turns terrible after these people go missing. Dogs can't track the scent. Their clothes are often found folded neatly, sometimes miles from where they vanished. And the bodies, when found, are in places already searched multiple times. I mean, think about it. You mean to tell me a dude's body was found 500 feet up a cliff barefoot with no injuries in an area that a rescue team combed for days? No, something's not adding up. And don't even get me started on the kids that disappeared and reappeared in places they couldn't have possibly reached alone. Some describe seeing a bear that talked or, a big man with hair like a dog. Come on, Bigfoot, is that you? All I'm saying is it's a little sus. Now let's stir the conspiracy pot, alright? First up, the feral people theory, right? This idea, especially around the Smoky Mountains, that there are an entire hidden communities of people who live off-grid, deep in the forest, like real-life hills have eyes. Come on. No laws, no lights, no cell towers, just generational mountain people who don't take kindly to outsiders. Some locals say that these people are responsible for missing hikers. Others say that they're a myth made up to scare tourists. Then, of course, we got the government theory. What if there's a secret military base in the Appalachians? What if all the trails are designed to keep us away from what's really going on out there? Weapons testing, maybe a caged Bigfoot or two? And here's my personal favorite. What if Bigfoot is the good guy? And the disappearances that happen when people get too close to something else the government doesn't want us to see, maybe Bigfoot's not the monster. Maybe he's a guardian. Ultimately, it comes down to how you perceive it. But let's bring it back to reality. Or, well, the witch show version of reality. So what do I think? I think the Appalachian Mountains are hiding something. Maybe it's a few things, actually. Maybe it's just a really big raccoon in a wig. But if you've got a theory, I want to hear it. Send me your Bigfoot encounters, your wild hiker stories, or that time your GPS glitched in the woods and you ended up somewhere you can't explain. Go ahead and drop your story in my comments section, and if it's good enough, I might even feature it in my next episode. Alright, let's dive a little deeper. Let's talk about the hundreds, possibly thousands of people who vanished from the wilderness. National parks, forest trails, remote mountaintops. Oh, and the creepy part is a lot of these disappearances follow patterns that just don't make sense. So much so that it actually caught somebody's attention. So remember I mentioned the former cop and investigator David Polides? Well, he started digging into missing person cases after a park ranger pulled him aside and mentioned a problem. He found cases where expert hikers vanished on easy trails. Kids disappearing just feet away from adults. Bodies found miles uphill. No footprints, no gear, sometimes no clothes. And sometimes not even a body at all. They just disappeared. You've got dogs who refuse to track, weather that suddenly turns violent after a person goes missing, and bodies found in areas that search teams already combed. Almost like somebody put them back. Or something. And get this, there's no official database on how many people go missing in our national parks. That's right, the government doesn't track it. Or maybe they don't want to. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, Georgie, it's gotta be bears, cliffs, or some kind of tragic accident. Sure, that explains some of them. But all of them? Why are toddlers found miles away from where they vanished? Why are experienced hunters disappearing with no signs of struggle, with rifles and backpacks left behind? Why are their clothes folded neatly by a river? And then come the theories. Bigfoot, time portals, alien abduction, interdimensional rips, government black ops, you name it. But in the end, there's one detail that gives me the chills the most. The silence. No struggle, no sound, just a person gone. Like they stepped out of reality for a second and never made it back. So next time you're out hiking, take a second look behind you. Because if you disappear in the woods and no one sees it happen, did it even happen at all? Alright, I'm kidding. So if you're still here after this last segment, first of all, props to you. Second of all, it gets weirder. Let's talk about clusters. Yeah, clusters. Areas where people go missing again and again. And not just random spots. These are deep woods, near boulder fields, near water, and always just far enough from help. There's even patterns with time of day, right? A lot of these vanishings happen between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Why? Honestly, no one knows. But that's when people tend to vanish, like clockwork. Now here's something that seriously messes with my brain. Some of the people who do come back, they don't remember anything. Not like they got lost and wandered. I'm talking about memories wiped completely clean. Like they blinked, and suddenly it's been 2 days and they're lying in a ravine with a missing shoe. One case, a boy disappears during a family camping trip. Search crews go nuts for days. Dogs can't track him. Then boom, he's found 12 miles away up a mountain. No scratches, no real memory, wearing only his underwear. He says, "A bear took care of me." Except bears don't do that. Another case, a woman vanishes while hiking with friends. They turn the corner, she's gone. Weeks later, they find her at the top of a rock face, in a spot that would take pro gear to reach. No trauma, just dead, and no one knows how she got up there. And here's what makes it even more bizarre. When people vanish, sometimes there's zero wildlife around. Like nature itself goes still. No birds, no squirrels, no sound. Just a vacuum of silence, as if something is watching, or waiting. Now look, I'm not saying it's aliens, I'm not saying it's interdimensional kidnappers, or skinwalkers, or portals in the forest. But I'm not saying that either. Because when you stack up the facts, the odds, the terrain, and these search patterns, these aren't your typical, oops, I got lost cases. There's something else. And if nature is really hiding secrets this big, you gotta ask, are national parks beautiful, or are they cages? But let's talk about the Appalachian Mountains. The oldest mountain range in North America, millions of years old, full of legends, whispers, and things that don't like to be seen. Here's what's crazy. This area has one of the highest concentrations of missing 411 cases in the world. People disappear here all the time, hikers, campers, locals, and a lot of the time, no answers, just silence. Now you might be thinking, okay, Georgie, maybe it's just the terrain. It's rough out there. Sure. But what about the folklore that perfectly lines up with these disappearances? Are you telling me that that's not something? Locals talk about the stairs, random staircases in the woods. No trail, no ruins, just staircases, standing alone. You're told not to touch them, and definitely don't climb them, because those stairs, well, they lead somewhere you're not supposed to go. Then you got the whistler, something in the forest that mimics voices, lures you off trail, sounds like your friend or your mom, or even your own voice calling for help. And of course, let's not forget about the big hairy guy in the room. That's right, Bigfoot. You think it's a coincidence that so many of these missing persons cases happen in areas with Bigfoot sightings? Massive footprints, twisted trees, no animals for miles. Even seasoned hunters have reported seeing a huge figure in the woods, too fast to follow and too silent to be human. Some say Bigfoot isn't just some ape in the woods. Some say it's interdimensional, a watcher, a protector, or a predator. But here's where it gets even sketchier. People who research his stuff, they get watched. Files disappear. Even Polides himself says that the National Park Service refused to give him a list of missing people. Like, why would you even need to hide that? Unless there's something deeper going on. Maybe there are places in the world that aren't fully ours. Places where the rules are different and where things that live there don't want to be understood. Only respected or feared. And maybe, just maybe, these people aren't getting lost. Maybe they're being taken. But here's the deal. I'm not here to joke about big feet and beef jerky commercials. I'm here to ask the big question. What if Bigfoot is real? And that's only the beginning of the weird. Let's start with the basics. Over 10,000 reported sightings in North America alone. Giant footprints, red eyes, terrifying screams in the night, and creatures taller than NBA players, broader than your Uncle Chuck, and faster than they should be allowed to be. People report Bigfoot walking upright, hiding from helicopters, even throwing rocks at campers like a cranky forest landlord. But the weirdest part is that no one ever catches it. Not clearly, not cleanly, not in a way the world accepts. So it always begs the question, what is it? Some people say Bigfoot is just an undiscovered primate, a big ape that somehow evaded every drone, satellite, and guy with an iPhone for the past 100 years. Okay, maybe. But then explain this. Why do electronic devices fail in Bigfoot areas? Why do people report telepathic experiences? Yeah, you heard me right, like it spoke to them inside their mind. Why do sightings often happen right around strange lightings are seen in the sky? These are always the questions with unknown answers. So, we only speculate. For example, Bigfoot is interdimensional. Yeah, I said it. Sasquatch might not live in the forest. He might pass through it. People see him take a few steps, then vanish. No trail, no prints, just gone. Like he dipped through a cosmic exit sign. Not to mention, he's linked to the missing 411. clusters of disappearances, national parks that won't release missing persons data, creepy reports of something watching from the trees right before someone disappears. Coincidence? Or something predatory with a PhD in hide and seek? Or maybe Bigfoot is a government secret. Yep, cue the black helicopters. Some believe Bigfoot is part of a classified project, that may be a hybrid species or an ancient being they can't control. So they cover it up instead. However you want to perceive it. Maybe Bigfoot's just a misidentified bear. Or is it the last remnants of something older than civilization? A watcher, a traveler, or something we were never meant to find? Because when you're deep in the woods and everything suddenly goes quiet, no birds, no wind, just that deep crawling feeling that you're not alone, sometimes that's not paranoia. Sometimes that's Bigfoot. Alright, let me get real with you for a minute. After digging into all this Bigfoot stuff, I don't know what I believe. I mean, part of me wants to laugh it off, like, come on, a giant hairy dude tiptoeing through the woods like some cryptic ninja? Feels like a meme, right? But then I read these reports. I watch the interviews, I look at the patterns, and there's this feeling that I get deep in my gut. What if it's not all fake? What if we're the punchline, not him? Like, who are we to think that we've got this whole planet figured out? We haven't explored most of the ocean. We don't fully understand consciousness, and yet we act like if something doesn't show up in HD on TikTok, it must not be real. But here's the part that really sticks with me. It's not just about whether Bigfoot exists. It's about the fact that so many people feel something out there. Something watching, something old, something we've been taught to ignore. And maybe that says something more about us than it does about Bigfoot. Maybe it's a symbol of everything we don't understand, of the wild parts of the world and ourselves that we've pushed into the background. So do I believe Bigfoot is real? I don't know. I believe the fear is real, the stories are real, the silence in the forest, very real. And if thousands of people are seeing the same thing, feeling the same dread, and asking the same questions, then we'd be stupid not to at least listen. Because whether Bigfoot's ancient species, an interdimensional being, or just nature's best kept secret, there's something out there that doesn't want to be found. And that's the part that keeps me up at night. So here we are. We followed the footprints, chased the shadows, and stared into the tree lines, hoping to make sense of something that refuses to be understood. Maybe Bigfoot is just a myth, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's a reminder that no matter how many satellites we launch or how many trails we blaze, there are still places in the world that logic doesn't reach. Places where something ancient, wild, and completely unbothered by our technology still walks. Silent, watching, and waiting. And whether you believe in Bigfoot or not, here's the truth. There's power in mystery, and there's something sacred about not having all the answers. So stay curious, stay weird, and if you ever find yourself alone in the woods, listen. Not for what's there, but for what isn't. You've been tuning into The Witch Show. I'm Georgie, and if you like what you heard, great. If not, it was probably a forest mimic pretending to be me. Don't trust it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Witch Show from what I think seriously to you.
WITS, The Witch